You feel like summertime. You took this heart of mine. You'll be my Valentine in the summer. In the summer. You are my only one. Just dancing, having fun. Out in the shining sun of the summer. Of the summer.
Good morning. We are on the train headed for Hue. Just left Da Nang about an hour ago. The train ride is going to take about 3 hours or so. It's already stopped a few times and I expect it'll stop a few more times. Laura and I had seats that were a little further up towards the center of the car, but we decided to move back because there's a nicer view. The views on this ride are extremely beautiful. We're riding along the mountain of central Vietnam, and the South China Sea is to our left or the train's right. It's really, really beautiful. Laura's right here. She's taking a little nap.
Nhà ga đón về đường sắt số 1.
We've just arrived in Hue, walking out of the train station, and there is a flood of taxis available, but none of them approached me. They just walked directly to Laura. Yeah. Maybe because they think I'm Vietnamese and so I like live here or something. It's hilarious.
Not bad. A little bigger than my hand. Okay, so we just sat down for lunch. We're at Nina's Cafe. We ordered a whole fried lemon fish and some morning glory. Pictures, the servings looked a little smaller, but they're actually really decent. Prices here are a little bit more expensive because it seems that we've stumbled across the sort of backpacker hostel scene of Hue, but it actually looks really good and it smells really good.
Lunch is done, got coffee, we are fueled. So we're now going to do a self-guided walking tour of Hue. We're deciding to walk because it'll allow us to really just soak in all that Hue has to offer. The first stop is going to be the Embroidery Museum.
I picked it out for you.
Yeah, because she loves me. Because I'm really into textiles and
you didn't
fashion.
know Tony sews.
Yeah, I taught myself how to sew from YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. From the Embroidery Museum, we're gonna go to the Imperial City because you can't come to Hue and not go to the Imperial City. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. From there, I'm not too sure what we're going to do. Maybe grab a second coffee or a late lunch. But yeah, let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a wedding dress.
That is awesome.
So this piece of embroidery art took 3 women, 8 months to create. Look at the details of this.
Do you know how to?
Yes, I know, but just like this.
This right here is a 3D embroidery piece.
You see these here? This is hand embroidery portraits. They look like photos, especially Gandhi's.
Yeah, they're so lifelike.
Yeah. Especially Martin Luther King's looks so like a photo, but it's embroidered. You see the details? And it looks like Gandhi has his actual hair shining. It looks like real hair.
This is crazy.
Their eyes are, it's like they're really there.
Is this a photo or an embroidered piece of art? Look at the eyes, they're so lifelike.
Do you know how to make silk?
No, I don't know.
She's working on some. Likes this style, like art. So I said, let's go.
What do you see?
A lot of thread.
Look at this massive embroidery piece. It took 10 people. We just took a tour, a free tour of the Embroidery Museum on the main road here in Hue. As soon as you walk in, you see a room full of women hand embroidering different art pieces, mostly of landscapes.
No, of lotus. They were doing lotus.
Oh, they were doing lotuses? Yeah, a bunch of
Flowers.
flowers. There are so many different types of embroidered pieces, from flowers to landscapes to portraits to animals.
Flowers seem to be the most popular
Yeah,
thing.
it seems to be a common theme. There's really no limit to the type of pieces that they can create. It is so beautiful, and I've gained like a...
The skill level demonstrated in a lot of the artwork is really impressive.
Very.
Especially the portraits. I think that's the most impressive.
Yeah, there's so much detail. I've grown much more of an appreciation for embroidery, and I now know why it's so expensive to get things embroidered or to buy pieces that have been embroidered, because it takes a really, really long time.
And none of these pieces are done by machine. They're all handmade.
The staff who was our free tour guide said that the work can't be replicated because the embroidery is so detailed that machines can't duplicate this type of work. And that makes sense because they're like layers upon layers upon layers of thread, which is sourced from Vietnam and oftentimes like dyed with natural ingredients or natural products.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the large pieces could take upwards of a year, she said, with multiple people working on it.
Yeah, they have the names of the people who embroidered and how long it took.
Yeah.
Like including the name of the piece as well.
Yeah, and everything in there is for sale. She had mentioned that one of the pieces was 6,000. I can only imagine what other pieces in there cost.
Yeah, the ones
and
with
this
more detail.
is one of multiple locations, right?
Yeah, it's owned by a company called XQ.
Yeah.
And there are different galleries throughout Vietnam that showcase like Vietnamese style embroidery.
But if you're in Hue and are an art fan and enjoy museums and also want to do something that is free, come check out the Embroidery Museum. Highly recommend it. The tour guide that we had, her name is Ling.
She was really nice.
She's really sweet, yes.
God.
Crap. My hat just flew off, dude. Oh man. So I just like tilted my head slightly and the wind just lifted it off my head. Yeah, we're on. Laura and I are tripling up on this motorbike.
You Vietnam?
Lao.
I buy from my one from Lao.
We got dropped off at the entrance of the Citadel and are now walking in towards the Imperial City. But funny story, as we're riding the bike, my hat flew off. So now I'm hatless.
Did you talk about the bike ride though?
Oh, but the bike ride was funny. So we, after walking out of the Embroidery Museum, we were considering taking a grab. And a grab from the museum to the Imperial City here was 22,000 dong, which is like, it's just under $1, which isn't bad at all. but we would have had to wait a little bit in order for the Grab to come pick us up. So we were just standing on the sidewalk and hoping that somebody would stop and offer to give us a ride, and a man did.
It's happened before.
Yeah, it's happened before, and you know, people just want to make a quick buck so they can. But the guy was offering, he was trying to charge us 50,000. We eventually got him down to 25,000.
Yeah, we had the Grab app open.
Yeah, I mean 3,000 isn't, I mean it's not that big of a difference, honestly. It probably goes a lot further for him than it does for us.
Yeah.
But he was asking if I was Vietnamese. I told him I'm Lao, and he goes, wow, Lao has some good marijuana.
Yeah.
I have no idea, I haven't been. Just like a card. Laura's pretending to feed the fish, and look at them. Look. They're flocking to her invisible bread.
Look. Is their mouth?
So we're gonna walk into the palace, but unfortunately there are no cameras allowed. So we're gonna shut it off now, and we'll see you when we come back out. We've now exited the Imperial Palace. Pretty neat inside. Low ceilings. There's a throne in the center of the room, which is where the emperor used to sit when he would host various ceremonies and call his mandarins, or I think mandarins are like people in the military. I'm not a history buff, so I can't go there with
when
you.
I read Mandarin, I thought of an orange.
Oh, you're sick. But it's apparently the most splendid palace in all of the Imperial City. It was built in 1805 and renovated in 1833 and 1923, and I guess has remained in that shape since.
Okay, so right now we're inside the Royal Theatre. It was built in the early 1800s, and originally it was for just the royal members, the king and his family. But it's like a big space, so I mean, he must have had a pretty big family in order to be able to enjoy it with them. Because if it was just like a few of them, I mean, it's a little extra. But it's really beautiful in here. The stage is behind me, and apparently there is a performance every day at 10 a.m. and at 3 p.m. and that is an extra 200,000 dong on top of your ticket, your entrance ticket here.
We're now at the Royal Reading Pavilion of Extreme Peace. It's really quiet here. You can't enter the actual pavilion. You can just walk on the perimeter of it, but it is really peaceful.
If you feel like reading today, just go and hang out in my extremely peaceful pavilion.
We're now at the Royal Pond of Extreme Peace.
I don't think that's the name. Off-roading.
So we've made about a 3/4 circuit around the Imperial City. There are several different buildings and palaces to visit while you're here, and we didn't get to all of them because it's about to close, and we're also really hungry, so we're gonna go grab something to eat before we have to head back later this evening.
I used a self-guided tour that I found online. I just googled like self-guided tour Imperial Palace, and there's like certain points where you can see what they are, and it gives you like a little description of them.
Yeah.
So that was helpful.
Yeah. So we paid 150,000 dong, which is about $6 to get in. there's an option to purchase a ticket with a tour, which is 280,000 dong. We're gonna go grab something to eat, maybe a second coffee because we're pretty tired from waking up at 5 a.m. this morning.
And it's hot.
And it's warm and walking around
in the sun all day.
Yeah. We'll end the vlog here. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, give this video a like. Let us know what you thought in the comments. See you later.
Bye.